Hey, do you want some reviews? I can sell you some. Okay, that sounded super sketchy. You should not buy reviews from somebody, especially if they are sketchy like that. We're going to talk all about it today. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm MK Williams. I'm an author and independent publisher. I love sharing my insights about all things books and publishing with you. Before I get into the details of today's topic, don't forget to hit subscribe. You'll be notified when I put out new videos every week about self-publishing, making a career to being an author, and now being a mompreneur. So I was going to include this whole discussion in another video that I'm filming that you'll see soon. So again, don't forget to subscribe. But I realized that this is kind of its own discussion, and I really want to emphasize this. And it's about book review services, book reviews, what's okay, what's ethical, what's going to get you kicked off different platforms. So I definitely want to take a step back and talk about this today. So I have several videos coming out about different book review services. This is all kind of just like a book review services 101. So as authors, indie authors, or even traditionally published authors, we need reviews. So if you are a reader watching this and you've been reading books, please just go and leave a star review. It can just be the rating. It doesn't even have to be a review. It is so important for authors to have reviews. This is social proof that our work is legitimate, that others liked it, and therefore someone else should give it a chance. This is accelerated by the algorithms that match customers who bought this or customers who enjoyed this also enjoyed XYZ functionality. It is super important. So if I want my book to compare to, let's say I would like The Infinite to compare to Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. I really want people who read my book to leave reviews, because if they like that one and they also liked his book and left a review, the next time somebody goes to his page on Amazon, hopefully my book will pop up as a recommended book. So it's very helpful with discoverability. Now, first and foremost, it goes against the policies of Amazon.com and most other online retailers to pay for reviews. Don't do it. Don't. I'm using my mom voice now because I'm a mom now and I can use it. Don't pay for reviews. Don't do it. It will get you kicked off these retailers. And this goes beyond just book reviews. Amazon and other retailers have had issues in the past with people paying somebody to leave a review, either a falsely glowing review of a product they did not use, or obviously they were biased because they received payment. Or they also had people who were paying others to leave negative reviews for their competitors. It was a bad situation, and so Amazon has a very hard stance: no paid reviews. So if somebody buys your book, reads it, reviews it, loves it, leaves a legitimate review, but they are doing shady things with reviews elsewhere, that could also count against you. You can't really control for that. And usually, in most cases, you could say, hey, this is a legitimate review, please reinstate it. But Amazon and other websites have really cracked down on reviews because of this, because people have been manipulating the system. So don't be part of the problem and do not pay for reviews. So I'm sure you're thinking now, okay, but MK, there's book review services out there and they charge money. So how are they not violating the terms and conditions of these companies if they're offering paid reviews? Some of them are. But for most of the review services that I'm going to discuss today, you are paying for access to a network of reviewers that you can give your book to for free, in the hopes that they will read it and leave a review. Again, if they're getting a bunch of books for free, they may not actually read all these books. They may not have the time to read all these books. But the aim is that you're not so much paying for the review as you're paying to access to a group of readers who most likely will enjoy your book because of the genre, and are continually being prompted by this network to leave reviews. So I'm trying not to sound too sarcastic here, because the fees can really add up for some of these services, and you're guaranteed nothing. Just, okay, I gave out a copy of my book. And that can be really frustrating for an author, especially when you've just spent so much money creating the book, to be like, I've just given out how many free copies and there's no reviews, and I would just like sales and reviews, please. But if the service is doing their job and they're doing it well, it takes a lot of time and effort and money to maintain the websites, to follow up with the reviewers, to keep in good email compliance, to police bad actors, and remove inactive participants. So I'm neutral on this from a business standpoint in general. As long as they are on the up and up, they are maintaining their list, they are doing everything they can on their side to remind the readers, please leave a review. This author is giving you this for free. The least you can do is take 2 extra minutes when you finish, not even, and leave a review. So some of these services are on the up and up, and I'm going to discuss some of those in this video and in future videos. I will not be giving the bad actors any airtime. No, not going to do it. Now, one exception to the paid review rule is for editorial reviews. Now, there are editorial review services that you can pay a lot of money for, but you're guaranteed nothing. Now, editorial reviews are different from customer reviews. Editorial reviews go under what people are saying about section. If you're thinking about Amazon and there's a specific section within Author Central where you add those editorial reviews, they are not customer reviews. They do not impact your star ranking or anything like that. It is literally like, this publication said XYZ about my book. You can use that in marketing and promotions. The customer reviews are separate. So the exception for the paid review rule is editorial reviews. Now, in this case, you aren't guaranteed any kind of rating. You're literally paying for the time for that reader to read the book and write a review. They will read it, they will review it, and it may not be a good review, and it may not result in any additional sales, even if it is a good review. So that is something to always keep in mind. I always want to remind authors, like, you have a lot of different things you can be investing in. And none of them are really a guarantee, right? You can invest in Amazon ads, like I did that video last year. It didn't guarantee anything. You can invest in editorial reviews and it doesn't guarantee anything. There's lots of things to keep in mind. Some of the more reputable services include Kirkus Reviews, Publishers Weekly, Readsy, the school library journal. Any other reviews, like your customer reviews, cannot be paid. Only these editorial services. You can give away copies of your book for free in exchange for an honest review. Honest, sometimes brutally so, but that's it. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video about book review services 101. I'm super excited and passionate about this topic, as you can tell in the video. Before we go any further, I do want to remind you though, if you've read one of my books, any of my books, and you haven't left a review or star rating, we're going to take a minute and pause right now. So you can go and leave a rating or review. These ratings and reviews are so important, as I'm going over in the video, and I would really appreciate it if you just took a moment just to leave that review or star rating. Even if it's a critical review that's very well written and says, like, this wasn't for me, but if you like this kind of thing, it could be for you. That's even appreciated. Every review, every single review helps. And maybe you've already read and reviewed my books, maybe you haven't read any of my books, but any book you're reading, any indie author, any traditionally published author, please leave them a review for their book today. That can be your one good deed for the day. Okay, now let's get back to talking more about these services. Now, there's services that allow authors to give copies of their books away through their network and pair them with reviewers. Sometimes these are called galleys, specifically in traditional publishing, so think Edelweiss, NetGalley. There is a large monthly fee, but you get access to lots of potential ARC readers this way, and it can be hard to gauge what really helps. With those services, you can actually approve or deny ARC readers, advanced review copy readers, or galley readers. So if they have a track record of not reviewing books that they've received for free, you don't have to give it to them. You can deny them. But the really big reviewers with tons of followers are going to be harder to get in front of. So again, supply demand, there's no guarantees here. The services I've mentioned so far are available for traditional publishers and now also for indie authors to access their services. So all the services that I've mentioned by name so far, you can actually, as an indie author, access these. There are also services that primarily market to indie authors, and they usually have a much lower price point for that reason, because we don't have the big budgets of a major publishing house. So that's helpful. So in this case, it's a story origin, voracious readers only, where the author pays a subscription fee again, usually much lower subscription fee. They provide a free copy of the book when people ask for it. Usually the stated expectation is that the reader will leave a review, but the reader is also going to be subscribed to the author's newsletter. This is usually clear at the outset for the reader. So the benefit to the author is having somebody subscribe to their newsletter in addition to this hopefully maybe review that is posted. Now, there are seemingly new review services that pop up overnight. So if you're approached by a review service or just heard about it, and I haven't mentioned it already in this video, then it's either not legit, because I refuse to give bad actors a platform, or I just haven't heard of them yet if they're brand new, in which case I wouldn't even know to mention it. So do your research, ask other authors if they've used the service and their experience before you buy, and as always, author beware. So in the cases of services I've used that I'm going to review, I asked for the information to be sent to me, and then I sent the ebook directly to the reader. I did not provide a copy of my book to a service and just uploaded it, and they could just hand it out to whoever. And so that's something to keep in mind too, is that there are pirates out there, and how can we mitigate against them? And the thing is, I kind of look at it with, I have a very common name. and a very common last name. And so I say like, my identity is going to get stolen at some point. It is. And when it happens, it's going to stink. It's going to take some time to fix it, but it can be fixed. And that's kind of how I view book pirates, is like, it's going to happen eventually. It's going to stink. It's going to suck, but hopefully I'll be able to mitigate it at the time. Now, I would say when you're evaluating any new review service, especially if it's brand new, like be a little incredulous if what's being promised seems too good to be true. So any service promising or guaranteeing a set number of reviews or even a star rating is likely violating some terms of service, and you, the author, will be the one who gets your account shut down. The bad actors will fold and pop up as a new business tomorrow. It'd be so great. It would be so great to get more reviews, but don't fall for some of the ploys of the bad actors. Definitely keep that incredulity there whenever you're seeing something come up that seems too good to be true. So the biggest question that remains with the legitimate review services are, can you recoup the cost? Will you see a return on the investment? How will you define success? Is it so many new subscribers? Is it a certain review completion rate, or just the volume of free books given away regardless of the result? That is for you to decide and define what works for you. The thing with indie publishing and self-publishing is we all have very different budgets. We all have very different risk tolerance for what we can invest. And there's always going to be something different that works for us. If you're just starting out, you might say, I just want to get more subscribers. So if this gives me more subscribers, I'm totally happy with it, even if I don't see a penny come back, because I know I need to have people on my newsletter to talk to promote this book and the next book and the next. Hopefully they review it for you, because you are going to need reviews at some point. So think about those things. Now, what are your thoughts and experiences with book review services? I would love to hear them. Have you found a diamond in the rough, one that's been really great to work with? Have you been burned? Oh, that stinks. I'm so sorry, but definitely let us know maybe some lessons that you've learned so we can avoid that. Which services have you used that you could recommend? Like, let's keep the conversation going in the comments below to really help each other out. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and even that shiny thanks button that lets YouTube know that you got value from this information, and now they can get it in front of other authors like us. You can get back to writing your book.